Deep in Italy, where green hills meet the gentle Tiber River, the story of Rome begins. This city, destined to shape the Western world, starts its tale in 753 BCE, cloaked in the mysteries of ancient legends where myths and history weave together. It's the saga of Romulus and Remus, twins nurtured by a wild she-wolf, leading to the dramatic founding of Rome, a story as timeless as the city stands. The journey of Romulus and Remus, sons of the war god Mars and the sacred Rhea Silvia, unfolds from a tale of treachery to one of miraculous survival. Left to perish, they were rescued by the kindness of a she-wolf who became their surrogate mother until a shepherd took them in. Growing into ambitious young men, they dreamt of founding their own city along the nurturing banks of the Tiber. Yet their shared vision turned to conflict, ending in a fatal dispute. In a moment, charged with anger and driven by destiny, Romulus struck down his brother Remus, claiming the throne as the first ruler of Rome and giving his name to the eternal city. This dramatic inception, marked by both promise and violence, was a sign of the complex and storied history that Rome would come to embody. After founding Rome and becoming its first king, Romulus embarked on a mission to secure and expand his nascent city-state. Recognizing the need for a larger population, Romulus welcomed refugees and outcasts, granting them citizenship. This inclusivity, however, led to a gender imbalance, prompting the infamous abduction of the Sabine women. This act, while initially causing conflict, eventually resulted in the unification of Romans and Sabines as the women, now integral members of Roman society, brokered peace between their families and their new community. Romulus's reign was marked by both innovation and controversy. He established foundational civic and military institutions, including the Senate, initially composed of 100 men to advise the king, laying the groundwork for Rome's future as a republic and empire. Romulus's rule was characterized by a blend of diplomacy and force, expanding Rome's territory and influence in the region. Legend concludes Romulus's story with his mysterious disappearance during a storm, believed by some to be his ascension to divinity, joining the pantheon of Roman gods. Others suggest he was murdered by jealous senators. Regardless of the true end, Romulus's legacy as the founder of Rome and a pivotal figure in its mythological and cultural heritage remained unchallenged. Following the enigmatic end of Romulus's reign, Rome faced a period of uncertainty. The Senate, comprising Rome's elder statesmen, took on the role of caretaker government, but the need for a new king was evident to maintain the city's stability and growth. The choice fell on Numa Pompilius, a Sabine known for his wisdom, piety, and diplomatic prowess. His selection was a testament to the now integrated Roman and Sabine communities, symbolizing a new era of unity and cooperation. Numa Pompilius's reign was a stark contrast to that of Romulus. Eschewing military conquest, Numa focused on internal development, laying the spiritual and legal foundations of Roman society. He instituted religious practices and established priestly orders, including the Vestal Virgins, to oversee the city's sacred rites, thereby ensuring the gods' favor and the city's prosperity. Numa's laws and reforms fostered a sense of shared identity and civic responsibility among the Romans, further solidifying the cultural and social structures that would define Rome for centuries to come. Under Numa's guidance, Rome grew not through conquest, but through the strengthening of its internal cohesion and the wisdom of its governance, setting a precedent for the balance between martial valor and civic virtue that would characterize much of Roman history. Following the transformative reigns of Romulus, the founder of Rome, and Numa Pompilius, the architect of its religious and legal institutions, the Roman kingdom entered a pivotal phase of expansion and organization. From 753 to 509 BCE, Rome's journey from its legendary beginnings under its first kings to a flourishing kingdom showcases the dynamic interplay between myth and history, marking an era of profound growth and the establishment of enduring structures of governance and society. The Roman kingdom, from 753 to 509 BCE, was a period of foundational growth and organization. Under the rule of 7 kings, Rome evolved from a small settlement into a structured society. The kings were not only military leaders, but also high priests, central to Rome's religious life. The establishment of the Roman Senate, composed of the city's most influential families, marked the beginning of Rome's complex political system. Society was divided into patricians, the aristocratic families, and plebeians, the commoners, with laws and rituals that bound the community together. Infrastructure like roads and temples were constructed, laying the physical and cultural groundwork of the empire to come. This era, blending myth and history, laid the indelible foundations of Roman identity and governance. The end of the Roman kingdom came in 509 BCE, sparked by the tyranny of Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, known as Tarquin the Proud, and the tragic incident involving his son and Lucretia, a noblewoman. This act of injustice ignited the flames of rebellion, leading to the overthrow of the monarchy. Lucius Junius Brutus, an ancestor of the more famous Brutus who would play a part in the death of Caesar, became a symbol of freedom as he rallied the people against the Tarquins. The Republic was born from this revolution, establishing a new government where two consuls elected annually would rule, guided by the Senate's wisdom. This moment marked a pivotal turn in Roman history, as it set the stage for a complex political system balancing power among various institutions. As the early Republic flourished, so did the internal conflicts between its social classes. The patricians, Rome's elite, held most political power, while the plebeians, the common people, faced legal and economic hardships. This disparity led to the secession of the plebs, a peaceful yet powerful protest, where the plebeians withdrew from the city, demanding rights and protections. This act of defiance resulted in the establishment of the tribune of the plebs in 494 BCE, an office with the power to intervene on behalf of the plebeians and veto unjust laws. The culmination of these struggles led to the creation of the Law of the 12 Tables in 449 BCE, Rome's first set of written laws, ensuring transparency and protection for all citizens. These reforms were not just legal adjustments, but a redefinition of Roman society, laying the groundwork for a more inclusive governance. Following the establishment of its republic, Rome embarked on a series of military campaigns that expanded its influence across the Italian peninsula. By the 3rd century BCE, Rome's appetite for expansion led to a collision course with Carthage, a powerful maritime city-state in North Africa. The struggle for dominance over the Mediterranean basin erupted into the Punic Wars. The First Punic War, 264–241 BCE, saw Rome's naval prowess challenged, yet ultimately victorious, forcing Carthage to cede Sicily. The Second Punic War, 218–201 BCE, entered the annals of history as Carthage's Hannibal Barca crossed the Alps with his elephants, delivering a series of crushing blows to Rome. Despite these setbacks, Rome's determination never wavered, and through strategic brilliance and sheer persistence, Rome defeated Hannibal at the Battle of Zama in 202 BCE. This victory, and the subsequent Third Punic War, 149–146 BCE, which ended in the complete destruction of Carthage, cemented Rome's supremacy in the Mediterranean world. The success of Rome's expansion brought not only glory but also grave challenges. The Social War, 91–88 BCE, a conflict with Rome's Italian allies, erupted over the Allies' demands for Roman citizenship and equal rights. The war showcased the fierce desire for inclusion within the Roman political framework, and ended with the granting of citizenship to Rome's Italian allies, a pivotal moment in Roman history that expanded its citizenry and integrated diverse cultures under one banner. However, peace was short-lived. The Spartacus slave revolt, 73–71 BCE, led by the Thracian gladiator Spartacus, ignited a firestorm across the Italian peninsula. Spartacus and his followers conducted a series of daring raids, shaking the very foundations of the Roman slave-based economy and society. Although eventually quelled by Crassus, with Pompey finishing the remnants, the revolt highlighted the inherent tensions within Roman society and the ever-present threat of rebellion by those denied the fruits of its prosperity. In the waning days of the Republic, the figure of Julius Caesar emerged as a central pivot around which the fate of Rome would turn. After securing unprecedented power through his military conquests, Caesar crossed the Rubicon in 49 BCE, a defiant act of war against the state that ultimately led to his dictatorship. His rule, though marked by significant reforms, ended abruptly on the Ides of March, 44 BCE, when he was assassinated by a group of senators. This act plunged Rome into a series of civil wars, as power vacuums are wont to do. The most notable of these conflicts was between Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, later Augustus, and Mark Antony. Their rivalry culminated in the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, where Octavian emerged victorious. In the aftermath, Octavian was granted unprecedented powers by the Senate, marking the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Augustus, as he was then known, ushered in an era of relative peace and stability known as the Pax Romana, fundamentally transforming the Roman state and its society. The Republic's ideals of shared governance gave way to imperial rule, a system that would dominate the ancient world for centuries to come. In 27 BCE, a new chapter in Rome's history was written by its first emperor, Augustus. With the ashes of the Republic behind him, Augustus embarked on a comprehensive program of reform and renewal. He reorganized the Roman military, established a permanent army stationed at the empire's frontiers, and created the Praetorian Guard to protect the emperor. Augustus also implemented significant administrative reforms, dividing Rome into regions and streamlining the governance of provinces. Perhaps his most enduring legacy, however, was the ushering in of the Pax Romana, a period of unprecedented peace and stability that lasted for over 2 centuries. Under his rule, Rome saw a renaissance in arts and culture, and the city itself was transformed with the construction of monumental buildings and infrastructure that proclaimed the glory of the Roman Empire. Augustus's reign laid the foundations for an era that would see Rome reach the zenith of its power and influence. The Roman Empire reached its zenith under Emperor Trajan, who ruled from 98 to 117 CE. A skilled military leader and a benevolent ruler, Trajan embarked on significant military campaigns that expanded the empire to its greatest territorial extent, encompassing vast regions of Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. His conquests were immortalized in the stone of Trajan's Column, a marvel of Roman engineering and artistry that stands as a testament to his victories and the empire's might. But Trajan's legacy extends beyond conquests. His reign heralded a golden age of Roman culture and prosperity. Trajan's Forum, with its vast complex of markets, was a center of commerce and social life, showcasing the empire's wealth and architectural ingenuity. Public works, including roads, bridges, and aqueducts, improved the lives of Roman citizens and facilitated trade and communication across the empire. The arts and literature flourished, supported by the peace and stability of the Pax Romana, allowing Roman culture to influence far beyond its borders. Under Trajan, Rome exemplified the ideals of Roman civilization, balancing military power with cultural achievements and architectural grandeur, creating a legacy that would endure as a pinnacle of ancient history. Following Trajan, the Roman Empire was guided by a series of rulers known as the 5 Good Emperors, a period from 96 to 180 CE characterized by wise governance, stability, and prosperity. This era began with Nerva, who was chosen by the Senate, setting a precedent for the peaceful transition of power based on merit rather than heredity. Each emperor, Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antoninus Pius, and Marcus Aurelius, played a pivotal role in maintaining the empire's stability and fostering its cultural and economic prosperity. Hadrian, ruling from 117 to 138 CE, consolidated and strengthened the empire's borders, most famously commissioning Hadrian's Wall in Britannia as a fortification against northern tribes. His reign also saw a flourishing of the arts and architecture, including the construction of the Pantheon in its present form, a masterpiece of Roman engineering. Antoninus Pius, Hadrian's successor, presided over an era of peace and prosperity, focusing on internal improvements and the expansion of legal rights within the empire. The period of the 5 Good Emperors culminated with Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher king whose reign was marked by both wisdom and challenges, including defending the empire against barbarian invasions. Despite these threats, Marcus Aurelius maintained the empire's prosperity and contributed to its intellectual legacy through his writings, most notably Meditations. The era of the 5 Good Emperors represents the pinnacle of Roman imperial power and governance, a time when the empire thrived through enlightened leadership, fostering a period of peace, cultural achievements, and economic prosperity that defined the golden age of the Pax Romana. The death of Marcus Aurelius in 180 CE marked not only the end of the era of the five good emperors, but also the beginning of the Roman Empire's gradual decline. His son, Commodus, ascended to the throne, and his reign starkly contrasted with his father's stoic wisdom. Commodus, known for his eccentricities and megalomania, saw himself as a reincarnation of Hercules, indulging in gladiatorial combats that diminished his stature among the Roman elite and the common people alike. His governance was characterized by negligence, corruption, and a series of increasingly tyrannical acts that eroded the political stability and economic prosperity Rome had enjoyed. The period of peace and prosperity of the Pax Romana began to unravel as Commodus's rule progressed. His assassination in 192 CE ended the Antonine dynasty and plunged Rome into a year of civil war, known as the Year of the Five Emperors, highlighting the fragility of the empire's political structure without strong and wise leadership. This tumultuous time underscored the transition from a period of enlightened autocracy to an era marked by military intervention in the selection of emperors and the beginning of Rome's long, complex journey towards decline. Commodus's reign serves as a critical juncture in Roman history, illustrating how the caprices of a single ruler can impact the fate of an empire, setting the stage for the challenges that would confront Rome in the centuries to come. The Roman Empire faced its most severe test during the crisis of the 3rd century, a tumultuous period from 235 to 284 CE marked by nearly constant upheaval and the brinkmanship of collapse. The assassination of Emperor Alexander Severus in 235 CE ushered in an era where the empire was beset by multiple existential threats. Over the span of this 50-year crisis, Rome saw more than 26 claimants to the throne, reflecting a deadly and destabilizing game of political musical chairs that undermined the authority of the imperial office. The empire itself fragmented, with the Gallic Empire and the Palmyrene Empire declaring independence, each controlling significant territories. These secessions, coupled with relentless invasions by Germanic tribes across the Rhine and Danube and the resurgence of Persian power in the east, stretched Rome's military capabilities to their breaking point. The economy faltered under the weight of continuous warfare, hyperinflation, and a breakdown in trade networks, exacerbating the misery of the populace. This period highlighted the vulnerabilities of the Roman political system and the fragility of its vast territorial holdings. Yet it also set the stage for monumental reforms under emperors Diocletian and Constantine, who would undertake drastic measures to stabilize and transform the Roman Empire, laying the groundwork for the Byzantine Empire and fundamentally altering the course of Roman history. In response to the crisis of the 3rd century, Emperor Diocletian, who came to power in 284 CE, embarked on a series of radical reforms aimed at restoring stability and ensuring the Roman Empire's longevity. Recognizing the challenges of governing an empire so vast, Diocletian introduced the Tetrarchy in 293 CE, dividing the empire into 4 parts, each ruled by a tetrarch. This system was designed to streamline administrative efficiency and provide a unified defense against external threats, while also addressing the issue of imperial succession. Diocletian's reforms extended beyond governance. He restructured the Roman military, increasing its size and dividing it into border troops and mobile units that could respond quickly to invasions or internal threats. Economically, Diocletian attempted to curb rampant inflation by issuing new, stable coinage and setting price controls on essential goods, though these measures met with limited success. Perhaps most significantly, Diocletian reformed the provincial system, increasing the number of provinces and creating a more centralized bureaucratic apparatus to enhance tax collection and law enforcement. These changes, while controversial, particularly his persecution of Christians, were instrumental in pulling the Roman Empire back from the brink of collapse and setting the stage for its transformation under his successors. Constantine the Great, ascending to power amidst the tumult of the Tetrarchy's collapse, would cast a long shadow over the future of the Roman Empire and Western civilization. His reign marked a profound transformation, not only through the establishment of Constantinople as the new Rome, but also through his conversion to Christianity, a move that would forever change the religious landscape of the empire. The foundation of Constantinople on the strategic crossroads between Europe and Asia served multiple purposes. It provided a defensible capital away from the empire's troubled borders, acted as a hub for trade, and symbolized a new beginning for the Roman Empire. Its location on the Bosporus Strait ensured control over the crucial naval routes between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean, bolstering the empire's economic and military strength. Constantine's conversion to Christianity, spurred by a visionary experience before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, led to the Edict of Milan in 313 CE, which proclaimed religious tolerance throughout the empire. This not only ended the persecution of Christians, but also set the stage for Christianity to become the dominant religion of the Roman Empire, and eventually of Europe itself. Under Constantine's rule, the empire saw a renaissance in art, architecture, and culture, with Christianity influencing the development of Western art and thought. Constantine's legacy is complex, marked by his ruthless consolidation of power, yet his impact on the empire's religious and political structure is undeniable, setting the course for the Byzantine Empire and shaping the Christian world. As the 5th century dawned, the Western Roman Empire was a shadow of its former self, beleaguered by internal decay and external pressures that would ultimately lead to its downfall. The empire faced relentless invasions by Germanic tribes such as the Visigoths, who sacked Rome in 410 CE, and the Vandals, who did the same in 455 CE. These events, once unthinkable, symbolized the crumbling might of Rome in the West. Economic troubles exacerbated the decline. The empire's vast size made administration and defense increasingly cumbersome and costly. The reliance on mercenary forces, often composed of the very barbarians who threatened the empire's borders, weakened Roman military cohesion and loyalty. In 476 CE, a Germanic chieftain named Odoacer deposed the last Roman emperor of the West, Romulus Augustulus, and declared himself ruler of Italy. While the Eastern Roman Empire, or the Byzantine Empire, continued to flourish, the fall of the Western Roman Empire marked the end of ancient Rome's unparalleled dominion and the beginning of the Middle Ages in Western Europe. The collapse of the Western Empire was not an abrupt event, but a gradual process marked by the transformation of the Roman world, rather than its outright end. Roman institutions, culture, and legal systems continued to influence the emerging medieval kingdoms, laying the groundwork for the modern world. With the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the Eastern Roman Empire, known to history as the Byzantine Empire, became the sole heir to Rome's legacy. Centered around its capital, Constantinople, the Byzantine Empire was a beacon of stability, culture, and economic prosperity in a medieval world, often in turmoil. Despite facing numerous challenges, including invasions by Persians, Arabs, and later the Seljuk Turks and the Crusaders, the empire managed to survive and at times thrive for over 1,000 years, until the fall of Constantinople in 1453. The Byzantine Empire was not only a military and political power, but also a cultural and religious center. The Hagia Sophia, with its revolutionary dome, exemplified Byzantine architectural and artistic brilliance. The empire was also a crucible for religious thought and conflict, notably the iconoclast controversy, which questioned the use of religious images and led to widespread destruction of art and periodic persecution. Byzantine society was characterized by a complex bureaucracy and a rigid social hierarchy, yet it was also a melting pot of cultures, where Greek, Roman, Christian, and various other influences merged to create a unique civilization. The empire's legal system, based on Roman law, was codified in the Corpus Juris Civilis, which would later influence the development of legal systems in Western Europe. The Byzantine Empire played a crucial role in preserving the knowledge of the ancient world, transmitting Greek and Roman literature, science, and philosophy to the Islamic world and the West, and thereby laying the groundwork for the Renaissance. Its fall to the Ottoman Turks in 1453 marked the end of the medieval era and the beginning of the modern age. Yet its legacy continues to influence art, architecture, law, and religion across the world. The 3rd century crisis marked one of the most perilous periods in Roman history, a time when the empire teetered on the brink of collapse under the weight of internal strife, economic deterioration, and relentless external threats. Between 235 and 284 CE, Rome saw over 20 emperors, most of whom met violent ends. The empire was plagued by widespread civil wars, barbarian invasions across its borders, and devastating plagues that decimated its population. Economic turmoil was rampant, with hyperinflation and a severe debasement of the currency undermining the empire's economic stability. The crisis not only tested the military and administrative capabilities of Rome, but also its social cohesion, as the empire's vast territories became increasingly difficult to manage and defend. In response to these mounting pressures, the empire was forced into defensive strategies, fortifying its borders and cities. Yet despite these efforts, the unity of Rome was severely challenged, laying the groundwork for significant reforms in an attempt to salvage the crumbling empire. As Rome faced its darkest hour, the stage was set for radical changes. The empire's near collapse called for innovative solutions, leading to the rise of one of its most dynamic leaders, Diocletian, who would attempt to stabilize the empire through bold administrative and political reforms. This period of crisis not only tested the resilience of Rome, but also paved the way for its transformation, setting the stage for the emergence of a new Rome under the administrative capabilities of the Roman state, but also its very cohesion and identity. Amidst this turmoil, the empire fractured, with regions like the Gallic Empire in the west and the Palmyrene Empire in the east declaring independence, challenging the concept of a united Roman Empire. Yet it was during this period of near collapse that the seeds for the empire's transformation were sown. In response to these existential threats, Rome began to evolve, adopting more autocratic forms of governance and reorganizing its military and administrative structures to better address the challenges it faced. This era of crisis underscored the resilience of the Roman state, setting the stage for the profound reforms of Diocletian and Constantine, which would reshape the empire and ensure its survival for centuries to come. In 284 CE, Diocletian rose to the imperial throne, inheriting an empire in disarray. Faced with the monumental task of restoring stability, he embarked on a series of radical reforms that would fundamentally alter the structure of Roman governance. Recognizing the impossibility of single-handedly managing the crises afflicting the vast empire, Diocletian established the Tetrarchy in 293 CE, dividing the empire into 4 parts, each ruled by a tetrarch. This innovative system aimed to ensure more effective governance and military defense by placing imperial authority closer to the empire's troubled frontiers. Diocletian also undertook extensive administrative reforms, reorganizing the empire's provinces to reduce their size and thus their potential for rebellion, while simultaneously increasing the overall number of provinces to enhance administrative control. He fortified the empire's borders, restructured the army, and sought to stabilize the economy through financial reforms, including the introduction of new taxes and attempts to control inflation. However, Diocletian's reign is also noted for the Great Persecution, the empire's most severe attempt to suppress Christianity, which he viewed as a threat to imperial unity and the traditional Roman religious order. These persecutions, though ultimately unsuccessful in eradicating Christianity, reflected the tensions between the old Roman pagan traditions and the rising Christian faith within the empire. Diocletian's reforms, though not without their flaws and controversies, saved the Roman Empire from the brink of collapse, demonstrating a remarkable capacity for adaptation and survival. His legacy, particularly the establishment of the Tetrarchy, would leave an indelible mark on the Roman state, highlighting the complexities of governing an empire that had grown too vast and diverse for the structures of the past. Following Diocletian's attempts to stabilize the empire through administrative division and reform, Constantine the Great would emerge as a pivotal figure, further transforming the empire by embracing Christianity and founding a new capital. At the dawn of the 4th century CE, a figure emerged who would forever change the course of Roman history, Constantine the Great. His rise to sole rule was marked by the decisive Battle of the Milvian Bridge in 312 CE, where, according to legend, Constantine adopted the Christian symbol of the Chi Rho after a visionary dream promising victory under the sign of the cross. This victory not only solidified his power, but also set the stage for Christianity's elevation from a persecuted sect to the empire's favored religion. In 313 CE, Constantine, alongside Licinius, issued the Edict of Milan, which proclaimed religious tolerance throughout the empire and restored properties confiscated from Christians. This edict marked a radical departure from previous policies of persecution, laying the groundwork for Christianity's rise to dominance within the Roman world. Constantine's reign was also characterized by the founding of a new capital in 330 CE, Constantinople. Situated on the strategic Bosporus Strait, this new Rome was a symbol of the empire's shift towards a Christian and Eastern orientation. Constantinople was adorned with magnificent buildings, including churches like the Hagia Sophia, reflecting Constantine's commitment to Christianity and his vision for the empire's future. Constantine's embrace of Christianity and his establishment of Constantinople were transformative, signaling the empire's transition into a Christian state and shifting its center of gravity eastward. These actions would have lasting impacts on the Roman Empire's identity, its religious landscape, and its political power dynamics, shaping the future of Europe and the Christian world for millennia. The late Roman Empire faced a momentous shift under the reign of Theodosius the Great, who, upon his death in 395 CE, bequeathed a divided empire to his sons, Arcadius in the east and Honorius in the west. This division, initially intended to provide more manageable governance, eventually crystallized into a permanent split, fundamentally altering the course of Roman history. The Western Roman Empire, grappling with mounting pressures from Germanic tribes, internal decay and economic decline, found itself on an inexorable path to disintegration. Significant events, such as the Visigoths sacking Rome in 410 CE and the Vandals capturing Carthage in 439 CE, underscored the West's vulnerability. The erosion of central authority and the failure to effectively manage military challenges and economic crises culminated in 476 CE, when Odoacer, a Germanic chieftain, deposed the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus. This act is traditionally marked as the end of the Western Roman Empire, heralding the beginning of the Middle Ages in Europe. Conversely, the Eastern Roman Empire, or the Byzantine Empire, managed to preserve and even strengthen its position. Constantinople, the empire's heart, became a bastion of Roman culture, law, and Christian orthodoxy, maintaining a continuity of the Roman legacy. The Eastern Empire's survival was bolstered by strategic geographic advantages, a more robust economic base, and a series of capable rulers who navigated the empire through periods of crisis. This tale of two empires reflects the divergent paths of Rome's legacy, with the West descending into the fragmentation of the medieval period, while the East continued to embody the essence of Roman statehood and culture for another millennium. With the fall of the Western Roman Empire and the continuation of the Byzantine Empire, the Roman world underwent profound transformations. The Byzantine Empire would face its own challenges and achievements, becoming a cultural and military powerhouse that preserved Roman and Greek knowledge throughout the Middle Ages. Following the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire emerged as a custodian of Roman and Greek civilization, fostering an environment where art, culture, and knowledge flourished. As the capital, Constantinople stood at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, becoming a vibrant metropolis that attracted scholars, merchants, and diplomats from across the known world. The Byzantines not only preserved the legacy of Roman law through the Codex Justinianus, but also made significant contributions to art, theology, and philosophy, blending ancient traditions with Christian motifs. The Hagia Sophia, with its revolutionary architectural design and breathtaking domes and mosaics, symbolized Byzantine innovation and religious devotion, influencing architectural styles across Europe and the Near East. Byzantine art, characterized by its iconic mosaics and religious iconography, played a crucial role in shaping the visual language of Christianity. Moreover, the Byzantine Empire was a beacon of scholarship and learning, preserving the works of ancient Greek and Roman authors in its libraries and monasteries, thereby ensuring their transmission to future generations. This intellectual heritage would later become a cornerstone of the Renaissance as Western scholars rediscovered classical texts through Byzantine sources. The Byzantines also excelled in military strategy and technology, developing formidable defensive systems and innovations such as Greek fire, a weapon that secured numerous naval victories. Despite facing numerous challenges, including invasions and internal strife, the Byzantine Empire remained a dominant power in the Mediterranean for centuries, testament to its resilience and the strength of its cultural and administrative institutions. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 to the Ottoman Turks marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, but its legacy endures. Through its preservation of ancient knowledge, its unique contributions to art and architecture, and its role in shaping the Christian world, Byzantium remains a pivotal chapter in the story of civilization, bridging the ancient and modern worlds. In the year 285 CE, Emperor Diocletian recognized the unwieldy nature of governing the expansive Roman Empire and made a decisive move to divide it into the Western and Eastern Roman empires. This division was meant to streamline administration and bolster the empire's defenses against increasing external pressures. The Western Empire, with its capital initially in Milan and later moved to Ravenna, faced significant challenges, including economic instability, military overextension, and political corruption. Meanwhile, the Eastern Empire, or the Byzantine Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, emerged as the wealthier and more stable counterpart. This period marked the beginning of a distinct divergence in fortunes between the two halves of the empire. The East flourished under the aegis of strong leadership and strategic geographic advantages, while the West grappled with the Herculean task of defending its borders against an array of Germanic tribes such as the Visigoths, Vandals, and Ostrogoths. These groups, pushed into Roman territories by the migration of the Huns from the east, sought refuge within the empire's boundaries, straining its resources and military capabilities. The decline of the Western Roman Empire reached its inexorable conclusion in 476 CE, when Romulus Augustulus, often regarded as the last Roman emperor of the West, was deposed by Odoacer, a Germanic chieftain. Odoacer's refusal to recognize a separate Western emperor and his decision to send the imperial insignia to the Eastern Emperor Zeno symbolized the end of the Western Roman Empire. This event did not result in an immediate cataclysm, but rather signified the culmination of a long process of fragmentation, loss of centralized power, and erosion of the traditional Roman way of life. The fall of Rome was not just the end of an empire, but also the beginning of a new era in European history, characterized by the rise of Germanic kingdoms on former Roman lands. The legacy of Rome, however, endured through its legal system, linguistic heritage, and the spread of Christianity, laying the foundational stones for the emergence of the medieval world. In the East, the Roman Empire continued in the form of the Byzantine Empire, preserving Roman law, culture, and Christian faith, serving as a bridge between the ancient and medieval worlds. The fall of the Western Roman Empire marks a poignant chapter in history, reminding us of the impermanence of empires and the transformative power of cultural and political shifts. In the wake of the Western Roman Empire's fall, the Eastern Roman Empire, known to history as the Byzantine Empire, stood as a bastion of Roman law, Christian faith, and Hellenistic culture. For over a millennium, Byzantium navigated the turbulent waters of medieval politics, serving as a cultural and economic bridge between Europe and Asia. Its capital, Constantinople, was more than just the empire's heart. It was the living embodiment of Roman continuity and Christian orthodoxy, surrounded by formidable walls that repelled invaders for centuries. The Byzantine Empire faced numerous challenges, from internal religious controversies like the Iconoclast controversy, to external threats from Arab invaders, Bulgarian and Serbian kingdoms, and finally, the Ottoman Turks. Despite these challenges, the empire experienced periods of remarkable cultural and intellectual revival, such as the Macedonian Renaissance, which saw a flourishing of arts, literature, and scholarship. The empire's resilience was tested time and again, culminating in the dramatic siege of Constantinople in 1453. Under the formidable leadership of Sultan Mehmed II, the Ottoman Turks besieged the city with a formidable force, employing massive cannons that eventually breached the ancient walls. The fall of Constantinople on May 29, 1453, marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, but it also signaled the beginning of a new era as the Ottomans emerged as a dominant power in the Mediterranean. The legacy of the Byzantine Empire is profound, influencing the development of Christian theology, art, and architecture throughout Europe and the Near East. Its preservation of classical knowledge, legal traditions, and administrative practices contributed significantly to the Renaissance and the modern world. Byzantium's story is a testament to the endurance of civilization through the ages, embodying the resilience, adaptation, and continuity of the Roman spirit. Through centuries of triumph and tribulation, these empires shaped the course of Western civilization, leaving a legacy that continues to influence our world today. As we reflect on the Byzantine Empire's remarkable endurance, we're reminded of the enduring power of culture, faith, and governance to navigate the ever-changing landscape of history. If you've been captivated by the saga of Rome and wish to discover more about the civilizations that have shaped our world, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring these stories to life, sharing the lessons of history with a global audience. Together, let's keep the legacy of Rome and many other civilizations alive for generations to come. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to embarking on our next historical adventure with you.